We have completed 3 modules. In the previous classes, we have discussed regarding the wastewater, right? From today's class onwards, we are going to discuss regarding the industrial wastewater. What are the industrial wastewater? What is the difference between the domestic and industrial wastewater? And then we are going to discuss on what are the effects of wastewater, industrial wastewater effluent on the receiving water body and also on the soil. And then we are going to discuss regarding what are the different industrial wastewater treatment techniques, that is proportioning, volume reduction, strength reduction, equalization, neutralization. Then what are the effects of the industrial wastewater that is partially treated and fully treated. If it is fully treated, how it is going to affect the receiving water body, that we are going to discuss in the present module. Okay, so first we are going to discuss regarding what is a domestic wastewater and what is an industrial wastewater. This is normally it is going to be asked in your exam, differentiate between the domestic and the industrial wastewater. Now in this particular question, what you are going to do is you are going to differentiate between the domestic and the industrial wastewater by means of its characteristics. So let us discuss regarding what are the main difference between the domestic and the industrial wastewater based upon its characteristics. Okay, so domestic wastewater is nothing but, as you know, it is the wastewater which is coming out from the bathroom, kitchen and the WCs. Along with this, this is not only coming from the houses, it is also consist of the wastewater which is coming out from the commercial areas, which is going to have the same characteristics as the household wastewater disposal. Okay, now here in the industrial wastewater, it is coming out from the various industries, which is coming out from the different kind of the treatments that we are going to get it from the different kind of industries. Might be steel industry, textile industry, then again your ice cream industries, or etc. etc. There are n number of industries are there in this category. So we will discuss regarding this to all these things in detail. Now coming to the domestic wastewater, the wastewater which is coming out from the bathroom, kitchens, WCs, then washing of the utensils along with the washing of the clothes, all these will be considered under the domestic wastewater. Okay, now here the main difference between the domestic and the industrial wastewater is, if we go according to its characteristics, the first characteristic that we are going to have is its color. Okay, as you know, as we have discussed, the domestic wastewater, the fresh wastewater will be gray in color. As it is time extends, as the putrefaction begin or the decomposition begin, it starts to convert into the blackish color because due to the decomposition. Whereas the industrial wastewater, it will be depending upon the type of industries. Okay, we are having n number of industries, so might be leather and tannery industries are going to have normally the red color. Then again, the different iron industry is going to, suppose if we are going to produce a steel, it is going to produce some different color. So the industrial wastewater, it does not have any fixed type of color. The color will depend upon the type of industries. Okay, then domestic wastewater is going to have, it does not have any kind of a toxic element. It is going to have the organic elements in it, right, which is going to decompose. Whereas your industrial wastewater, it is going to have the toxic elements such as lead, mercury, titanium, right, etc. etc. All heavy metals, probably it may be there in your industrial wastewater, but it depends on the type of industry it is going to deal with. Whereas your BOD of a domestic wastewater, it will be high, as normally it is going to have the organic kinds of elements in it, whereas your industrial wastewater, normally the BOD will be less as compared to the domestic wastewater. Then COD. Okay, in case of your domestic wastewater, there will be less amount of COD, because the COD is nothing but it is a combination of organic and inorganic elements which is present in it. So normally it doesn't have the inorganic elements in it, right? So that is the reason why we are going to get less amount of COD, whereas your industrial wastewater, it is going to have high amount of inorganic chemicals we may use it, so it is going to give you more amount of COD. Whereas your domestic wastewater will be having more organic waste, and it is going to have the inorganic elements. The temperature of domestic wastewater, normally it will be varying, right, in between 25 to 35 or say 40 degrees Celsius. Whereas your industrial wastewater, it is going to have too much of variation, right, if you are going to use the wastewater in dairies and all, right. Probably it is going to have the higher temperature if it is, if any boilers are there, and if suppose if from freezers and all, if they are going to liberate it, right, if they are going to discharge it, again there will be less temperature. But again, the temperature of industrial wastewater will be, again it depends upon the type of industry. Normally, next coming to the pH of a domestic wastewater will be varying in between 6 to 9, whereas your industrial wastewater, it depends upon type of the industry, because some of the industries may release acidic wastewater, some of the industries may release the alkaline wastewater. It depends upon the type of industries in case of your industrial wastewater. Now, these are the major differences between the domestic and the industrial wastewater. In addition to this, there may be some of the additional differences. It may be there in your both the domestic and the industrial wastewater. Now, we will see how the effect of industrial wastewater on a receiving water body, it will be there. Now, this is an industry, right, which is going to release an effluent into the stream. Okay. Now, this receiving water body, how it is going to be get affected, how the different characteristics of it is going to get affected, that we are going to see. Okay. Now, when we are going to release the wastewater from the industries, it may be having the inorganic salts, acids and alkalis, organic matter, suspended solids, floating solids, heated water, color, toxic elements, microorganisms, radioactive materials, then foam producing material. Now, all these, right, when we are going to have all these such characteristics into your industrial wastewater, right, how all these elements it is going to affect the receiving water body, that we are going to study one by one. Okay. Now, if we consider the inorganic salts, right, the inorganic salts may be present in the most industrial wastes, as well as its nature itself will cause the water hard, and it makes the stream undesirable for the industrial and municipal and agricultural usage. Okay. Now, when we are going to have these salts, right, what it will do is, it is going to have the scale, right, your hardness. Already we have discussed regarding, it is going to have the inorganic salts. When these inorganic salts are released to the receiving water body, and if such a water, if you are going to use for the municipal and municipal usages for water distribution, then the pipelines of those water distribution pipelines, it is going to be get affected. There is a scale formation will be there, then increasing in resistance to flow and lowering the overall capacity of the site. As I have discussed while telling you the hardness, it is going to have the scale formation. The scale formation will be there into the pipeline, and it is going to reduce the effective diameter of the pipes, and the water carrying capacity of those pipes is going to be get reduced. Now, when it is going to have the inorganic salts, it will impart the hardness to water, and again the heat transmission, if we are going to use in such kind of a wastewater or such kind of a water into the industries, then it will create a problem in the heat transfer. Okay. Then we will discuss, this is regarding the inorganic salts. Now, we will discuss regarding how the acids and alkalis will affect the water body. Okay. Now, acids and alkalis, as it is going to have the variation in the pH, right? If the acid is going to be mixed in the wastewater, then it is not suitable for swimming, right, and then survival of aquatic life, because the water will turn into the acidic. And since the pH, if pH goes below 7, it is going to have the corrosion effect also. And such kind of a wastewater, if we are going to use it for the navigation and all, then the ports wherever if it is going to travel on such kind of a wastewater, then the bottom of those the boats is going to be get corroded. Then if you are going to use your highly alkaline wastewater, as we have discussed, if it is going to have the inorganic salts in it, then it will have the scale formation. Okay, so again, if we are going to use in your navigation, again it is going to have the alkali reaction on the metal bodies. Okay, now the organic matter. Again, if your industrial wastewater from especially from the food industries, if it is going to have the organic wastewater, right, it is going to have the capacity to decompose, right? As it is going to have the organic elements in it, the microbes which are present in the wastewater, it is going to consume the oxygen which is present in such kind of a wastewater, and it is going to start to decompose. Okay, and when it starts to decompose, the DO of the receiving water body is going to get reduced below than less than 4, and due to this, again there will be the foul smell will also be there, and as well as the aquatic life whichever are living in the receiving water body, they may get die also. Okay, so this is how your organic matter, if it is present in the industrial wastewater, it is going to be get affected. Then the suspended solids, if the wastewater or the industrial wastewater, it is going to have the suspended solids in it, then they are having the tendency to get settled down at the receiving water body, and they start to decompose, and when it starts to decompose, it gives the bad odors, and which is going to again deplete the oxygen, and again the water, whatever the aquatic animals are there, it is going to, there is a possibility of dying. And if the wastewater is too much contaminated, then it may have the DO to 0, and the BOD value will increase, and it is nothing but it turns the receiving water body completely into a wastewater. Then the floating solids. Okay, the floating solids, liquids which is going to have some of the liquids, if it is having the oils, grease, right, they will float on the water surface, and they will obstruct the passage of light, right, since the oil is having the lesser specific gravity than the water, it floats on water, and it obstruct the passage of light, so that it is going to have the photosynthesis of the receiving water bodies, right, or the plants which are the aquatic plants, it does not have the sufficient amount of food, and it will not liberate the oxygen, and again there is a decomposition of the receiving water body will be there. Okay, and if the wastewater is going to have the toxic elements, then again it is going to have the detrimental effect on the water bodies. It destroys the vegetation on the shoreline, it causes the trouble in your conventional treatment plant, then it is going to create the problems on the boiler as well as the cooling water. Now we will discuss regarding the heated waste water, if it is going to release into the receiving water body. When we are going to release the heated wastewater to the receiving water body, now as you know, the temperature is again related, DO is related with the temperature. Higher the temperature, DO is going to get reduced. If you are going to release the heated the wastewater to the receiving water body, the DO of the receiving water body is going to get decrease, right? And again, if you are going to reduce the DO, again as I have told, there is a relation between the DO and BOD, right? The DO and BOD are inversely proportional to each other. If a higher temperature, if you are going to release, then what will happen? The DO will come down. If your DO is come down, then again BOD will increase, and again there will be the decomposition of the receiving water body will be there, which is going to, again it is going to cause the decomposition, or it is going to reduce the DO of the receiving water body, as well as it is going to increase the receiving the water body's BOD. So again there is a possibility of death of aquatic animals will be there in the receiving water body. Now the next thing is your color, right? When the industrial wastewater, which is going to have a different color, which is coming out from the textile, paper mill, tannery, slaughterhouses, right? It is going to interface with the sunlight, right? It is going to provide the obstruction to the sunlight, and the photosynthesis of the aquatic plants is going to get reduced, and again there will be a problem of DO will be there. If a photosynthesis is not going to be proper into the receiving water body, then again it is going to create the problem to the aquatic animals. Then toxic chemicals, say toxic chemicals like lead, chromium, zinc, iron, if you are going to release it too much to the receiving water body, right, if aquatic animals are there, then it is going to be get affected, and not only for the aquatic animals, right, if such a water, if it is treated, right, even though if you are after treatment also, there might be the traces of some of the heavy metals will be there, you cannot able to remove it very accurately, or you cannot be able to remove it completely. So again, if you are going to use it for the human usage, again it is going to create a problem. So liberation of these toxic elements, first if you are going to release such kind of elements, first the wastewater should be treated and then it should be released, and you should make sure that there will not be any kind of a toxic elements when we are going to release the industrial wastewater to the receiving water body. Then radioactive elements, right? The radioactive elements such as radium, thorium, right? All these elements, if you are, if the wastewater is coming from the nuclear power plants and all, it is going to create a problem to both the human and the aquatic life. Then the foam producing matter. Okay, now foam producing matter, such the wastewater discharged from the textile, paper mill, right, and then chemical plants, it is going to give foam formation will be there. That means more amount of surfactants will be there. So again, it is going, not only it is going to create a problem in the photosynthesis, it is also going to have some of the chemicals which is going to be harmful for the aquatic life. So such kind of a problems it is going to give. So this is the problem of discharge of industrial wastewater effluent to the receiving water body. This is how the industrial wastewater will, the different elements such as the acids, alkalis, solids, then surfactants, heated water, right? All these elements, how radioactive elements, all these elements, how it is going to affect the receiving water body quality, that it has been explained in the this particular chapter. Now we will discuss regarding the how the industrial wastewater is going to affect the soil properties. Okay. Now when we are going to discharge the industrial wastewater into the soil, then the pores of the soil, right, the pores of the soil, it is going to be get affected, right, as the soil is going to have, right, some amount of pervious texture in it, right, perviousness in it. Now if you are going to release the industrial wastewater which is going to have some of the organic some of the inorganic salts in it, then those pores of the soil are going to be get blocked, right? When you are going to block the pores of the soil, then whatever the wastewater, whatever you are going to get released in, if it is going to have the inorganic salts in it, it is going to be blocked into these particular soil pores, and you are going to release toxic elements to the soil, right? First of all, you are going to affect the perviousness of the soil, and even though if the water is going to have, if it is going to be discharged, right, then it will be having some of the toxic elements in it, and if you are giving such kind of a wastewater or to the soil, then the plants which are growing into such kind of a soil, right, they may absorb, the roots of those plants, they may absorb these inorganic salts, and whatever the plants which are growing, right, the plants which are growing in such kind of a soil, it is going to have some trace elements of these organic salts, and if the human is going to consume some amount of these plants, right, then his health is going to get affected. This process of solids which are going to be released into the soils, and from soil it is going to be get absorbed by the soil by the plant, and then plants is going to be consumed by the human, right? Whatever, if now the human is going to consume such plants, right? Again, the trace elements of these salts will be going to into his body, and his health will be get affected. And if a long term, if such process is going on, the his and all those inorganic salts in his body, it is continuously is going to be get deposited, and he is going to face a huge number of problems to his health. This process, right, this process we call it as an biomagnification. Okay, this process we call it as an biomagnification. And not only this is the problem, the how the perviousness is going to be get affected. Now the water retention capacity of the soil is also going to be get affected. C by N ratio of the soil is going to get affected. pH of the soil is going to be get affected. Then cation exchange capacity is going to be get affected, right? And this is and due to this, the crop growth rate of those plants is also going to be get affected. So when you are going to discharge the industrial wastewater to the soil, right, before discharging you should remove all those inorganic salts, the toxic elements, heavy metals, and then you should discharge it on a soil surface. Okay, so this is how your industrial wastewater is going to affect the soil and the receiving water bodies. In the next class, we are going to discuss regarding what are the different industrial wastewater treatment techniques, that is neutralization, equalization, proportioning, volume reduction, strength reduction. All this we are going to discuss in the next class. In today's class, we have discussed on what is the difference between the domestic and the industrial wastewater, and the effect of the industrial wastewater on the receiving water body, as well as the effect of industrial wastewater on the soil. So this is what we have covered in the present class. We are going to discuss some other topics in the next class. Thank you.